Yes, it is Wednesday, April 12th, 2023, and the markets are kind of ripping today. There's definitely some volatility and volume in the market. There's been a lot of bad news over the last couple of days, so it's interesting to see the markets still continuing to push upward, especially with a lot of bad news. People like Warren Buffett coming out saying that bank failures are not over yet, et cetera, et cetera, in regards to the banking system, and also in regards to who is it? There was a company, a bank recently, as well as several banks actually, that said writing new mortgages or writing mortgages in general is not profitable for them, and obviously refinances are way down because. Why would anyone want to refinance their 4.5 or 5% into a 7%? Just doesn't make any sense. What's up, Kevin? Good to see you. So despite all of those things that are coming out from like Warren Buffett and the Fed and all of the news, the volatile news from the banking systems, markets are still pushing up. Pretty incredible, actually. Let me go ahead and get my screen up here. Share, and then let's take a look at the. Okay, so today we have CPI data. I'll just pop this up here. So today we have CPI year over year, core CPI year over year, or just core CPI, and then the consumer price index. Those are all really similar reports, but they're all there. We got the Richmond president, Fed President Barr can speak. San Francisco Fed President also speaking, and then the Treasury budget for March. So that'll be out at 11 o'clock. And then we have the FOMC minutes as well as 11 o'clock. So expect a lot of volatility in the market today. With these are really important reports. A lot of the core CPI information is really important. If we just look at the consumer price index, you can see inflation stays stubbornly high. US CPI shows even as prices rise more slowly. And I think it's like, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, I think it was incredibly obvious when you start just dumping money into the money supply. You should not only expect inflation, but you should expect a lot of inflation. And so I just think that this was just kind of as obvious as it gets when it comes to economics, but that's not always necessarily who you're dealing with when it comes to a lot of lawmakers. So apparently we had 0.1% as the actual consumer price index versus the forecast was 0.2%, and the previous was 0.4%. Click the core CPI here. It takes us to the same location. Year over year, we're at 5%. On inflation. So inflation's up 5% over last March. And our next stuff really is going to be the Treasury budget coming at 11, and the FOMC meeting at 11 as well. So expect some volatility there. What up, Tiny? Great to see you here. Oh no. So we got kind of like a double top from a couple of days ago. You can see this was actually from the 4th. I don't know why the date is always so hard for me to read on Thinkorswim, but it is. So we kind of have a double top in here. You can see we had previously marked out this resistance zone, and we're rejecting off this level. On the 15-minute chart, we've rejected quite a bit. We've dropped down about $35 almost, like 33. Let's jump over to a 5-minute chart and take a look and see what we got going on. 5 minutes on the decline. I'm going to remove some of these old drawings, even though they're probably still relevant. Boom. This will remove 7 of our drawings, make it a little bit easier to look at. Let's see. We've got a level right here, pretty much at view app. It's at 4155. And this is down to 4142. Let's jump to the 1 minute chart. So 1 minute, seeing some decline and rejection off of that, off of the view app area. Getting a 5200 across to the downside. Definitely looking very bearish on the day. Might look to go short maybe off of 45 or 46. I think 45 is a pretty reasonable level to go short. Currently in the sim at the moment. This here. So didn't even get enough to go short at 45 because it just plummeted at 40. Well, off of 42 rather. Beware of a lot of volatility today. And I've just realized that we never actually logged into our evaluations. So definitely going to get logged into that here real fast. Finally caught the move. Made double Michael. Whoop, whoop. In one trade. Now I can sit back and relax. That's awesome. Almost missed it. You know, I actually did miss it. So, but pull back in the candle. Got it when I thought it was stopped. All right, so I'm going to get logged into my eval here. So that's why I don't have my screen up. But I will have that up in just a moment. Whoops. Just opened up Tradeovate twice. Bink, bink, bink. So I'm trading in an Apex evaluation at the moment. I'll get it up on the screen in just a moment. It's still logging in. It's not always like super fast on the login. All right. Let's get the screen up here. Swamp. All right, so we lost $817 yesterday when we had actually shut down the stream. It was $920.50. And then shortly after shutting down the stream, there was a trade op that I saw. We made about $100 something back, like $112, or $102 after fees. So we'll be looking to basically probably pull up around $200 to $300 today on the sim, or in the evaluation, I should say. We're definitely in bearish form right now. The low of the day is down here at 41.3375, and the high is at 41.77 last I saw. Yep, there it is, 41.7775. So there's a variable of about $44, which is quite a lot. And remember that we have the FOMC meeting today, as well as today is CPI data. So that already came through. And then we also have the Treasury budget. So all those factors are going to move the markets today, and they may actually, make trading pretty volatile and challenging, and that's okay. Sometimes that's a good thing. Getting a red to yellow now on the 1 minute side. I'm gonna take a look at the longer time frame. So I don't feel particularly confident about going long, even though this is a red to yellow. You can see this red to yellow here failed. Excuse me. I'm actually gonna go short right here in the sim. So I'm short on 42. So the reason why I don't feel particularly confident about it now, this could continue to push up because it is a stronger red to yellow than this one was back over here. But the reason why has a lot to do with the 5200 cross on the downside. It is popping up pretty reasonably quick though. I think in order for us to actually want to go long, I want to see the 9 get above the 12 instead of just trading the red to yellow. There's a possible crossover there. So it does seem somewhat inclined to come back, but it is going to have to fight this 5200 cross on the way back up. I'll cut this. Loss of 225 in the sim. I'm going to wait to get my momentum going in the sim before I trade in the evaluation. And that's just because, you know, I mean, yesterday, like, I got caught in a lot of bear traps before the breakout finally occurred on the day. And I don't really want to get stuck that way. So I think it's actually ended up costing me a couple of evaluations, that same type of situation. We got a hammer candle there, red hammer, going from 8.3 to 7.6 to 7.2 on the TTM 1 minute side. Let's evaluate this on the 3 minute side. 3 minutes going red. I actually could have held that short because we were short off 42, but it is about that level. So 3 minute sides also bearish on every moving average, including the TTM as well. The 5200 cross to the downside has not taken place on the 3 minute, but it has taken place on the 1. Peeking at the 5 minute chart as well, which is putting in some reds on the TTM. So I think that we're going to need to bounce at 40, then we're going to need to like really work our way back up towards the VWAP, honestly, for this to look hot. The other thing to think about too is that the market might be very sideways today until 11 o'clock when the FOMC meeting happens and the Treasury budget. So the Treasury budget and the FOMC meeting are at the same time. So yeah, expect to see a lot of volatility right there in a couple hours. In just about 3 hours and 15 minutes. So at 5:30 this morning, we ripped up from 41.37 all the way up to 41.77, and now we've come all the way back down to 41.37, which was right where we were at 5:30 this morning. Loss of $40 in the from the highs. Market still up today slightly, up like $3.75, $3.50. So it's really not up very much, and there is a lot of possibility of this dropping down. And maybe dropping down to about 41.30 and then going red on the day. This is why I'm waiting to trade in my evaluation. This does look like it is going to be support though, right here at 41.38. This is a level that we had drawn in some time ago. I don't think I made this one today. But it's holding it. So red to yellow on this area here would probably look a little bit stronger. This one was a pretty good trade for red to yellow. Just something on the back end of the downward trend. I don't know about the back end, but on the start of the downward trend. 8.1 to 8.4 on the TTM. So we do have a fair amount of people chilling out today. So if y'all chilling, y'all hanging out, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. We're getting a bounce off this support level. Support at 4140 area. We'll go for 5 ticks off of 4140 if we can get an entry. This entry would be in the sim, not the evaluation. But I'm inclined to take this potentially in the eval. I guess that entry would be off of 41. But we could easily reject right here. Put a standing entry in the sim at 41. It might fill me lower at like 40.5 or something. TTM going from 7.9 to 7.6. The 50 is still below the 200 moving average. I don't know why this isn't filling. You can see it's like passed through it many times. Dropping down to 40. Put me in a pretty good entry at 39.75. And I'm looking to get out of 41. TTM movement going from 7.9 to 7.6 to 6.8. I'm going to join the bid here. Try to get in at 40.5 on the eval side of things. It would have been a nice trade, but just didn't get a fill. Trying to get an entry off of 42. Struggling with entries today so far. I would hope for a little pullback right here.
Order filled.
Entered long at 42. I'm looking for a move up to 42.75.
Order filled.
All right, we got that in the evaluation, so we're up 103.50 on the day. There's 3 contracts at from 3 contracts at 3 ticks. So we got a hammer candle. This is looking particularly nice for a pretty decent breakout. Might rip up to about 45. That's kind of the area that I would give this for the moment. Right now I don't have confirmation on the 9-12 crossover, so can't really take this move yet in the eval side. I want to see 9-12 crossover confirmation. TTM's looking great though. TTM is stacking from 7.9 to 7.5 to 6.4 to 5.5 to 4.7. So a lot of stack coming in on the TTM. Today's a pretty volatile day, so be sure to take your profits, take them quick. At least that's my idea personally. That was a very nice bounce there. This is looking nicer and nicer for a trend reversal back to the upside. I'm going to hit flat on this and see where it just lets me out. Because I'd like to actually get out of this trade at this point on the sim. All right, we got that. We're up 225 in the sim, up 103.50 in the evaluation. I want to see this 9 cross above that 12 so that we can get this confirmation of this 12.26 crossover. All right, let's measure this up on the 3. 3 minutes, still putting in reds on the TTM. Like to see a red-yellow on the TTM 3. And then that would hopefully get us some indication of an upward move. The other thing to note is that on the 3-minute chart, we are below the 200 moving average. So this may just continue to reject there. And you can see it's rejected 1, 2, basically 3 times. These ones stopped a little short of it. TTM on the 3-minute going from 4.4 to 5.7. So still continuing to drop pretty heavily, dropping all the way down to 41.40. I might look to take a trade off of here, off around 41.40, just because it's been holding so well as a support level. Entered long at 39.75 in the sim. And my bracket order got messed up, so I'm just going to mark it. So we got out 112.50 in profit, so 3 ticks on that. And we're pulling back some. Gonna take a look at the 5-minute chart. We did just recently get a new 5-minute candle. 5 minutes also on the decline on the TTM average as well. If you guys don't know about the TTM, we do have a video on this channel that does explain it. The video on the channel explains it on the process in which I use the TTM to trade low float, high volume stocks that are moving with a catalyst, which is not the same thing as trading futures, but it is very similar. The future strategy is modified from that video, but it is a pretty similar strategy. It does help give a concept and understanding of the TTM. And it's definitely one of my top indicators, one of my favorite indicators. So, as far as moving averages are concerned, the TTM is still stacking on the upside, but I need this 9, this yellow, to get above this 12. These are both exponential moving averages. So the reason why 9 above 12 is it sort of creates a confirmation of move toward the upside. Just like over here, where the 9 got below the 12, created a confirmation of move toward the downside. So it's very useful in determining trend and direction right when it happens. That's why I like it, and that's why I use these 2 moving averages. Additionally, this 12 exponential moving averages, or exponential moving average, doubles as the strategy that is also used in a crossover strategy from the 26 simple moving average. When this 12 exponential crosses above the 26 simple moving average, this white line here, we tend to get a rip on top of that. Further, this 26 also doubles as a trend reversal notification, if you will. So a lot of times when the 26 dips below this blue line here, which is the EMA 35, and the 35 starts riding above the 26, that typically is information that is telling us that sometime over the next 20 minutes or so, usually, not guaranteed, but usually, as with any indicator, there's no guarantee. But usually this would indicate sometime in the next 20 minutes or so that a upward move is going to happen. So the other thing is that 35 above the 50, sort of 5200, is its own breakout crossover method that a lot of hedge funds use. Big drop, rejected heavily off of 40, dropping all the way down to 31. So $5 drop, 20 tick drop, even more so in just 1 minute. Top of this candle opened at 37.25, and the bottom was 30.48. So massive amount of contracts traded right here. Volume was 17,453. So major drop. That's why I said shorting today is probably in the cards. Thank you for the nice job. Appreciate that. Seems like the market wants a new low today. You are probably not wrong. Inflation's up 5% year over year today. I don't think that inspires a ton of confidence. I like that you wrote toddy there, like a hot toddy, like that's that one drink of some kind. I've never had one, but got my lines down to 41.28. Risk at 41.30. So are you shorting then? Throwing a resistance line here at 37. So I think it's going to be a bit before we see a trend reversal, if we see one much today at all. But if we do, it'll be a while. Because if you look at this on the 3-minute side, the 50 is still above 200. So there's still some reasonable potential for this. You would just want to see the 50-200 cross on the 1 minute. And then that would really just confirm the trend reversal. Just because the other ones are already up. But with that massive contract dump there, and I don't think there's been anything that large today. I'm going to tighten this up a little bit and see. $530 was close at 14,000 contracts. This one was close to 13K. $14. Yeah, that was the highest volume candle of the day at 17,000. So that drop right there, that $7 drop or so, that was the highest volume candle of the day so far. I'll never forget that line from one of the Simpsons episodes was, "This is the worst day of my life," and Homer turns to Bart and says, "So far, worst day of your life so far." Yeah, there's been so many times in my life where I felt that way, and then I remembered that line, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, it can actually get worse than this." So it's not that bad. I've been known to give back my gains. I think every trader has been known to give back their gains at some point. I think this is a natural thing that happens in trading. So down here in the lower band of the VWAP, we'll see if we actually hit a see if we actually bounce off this. We did double bottom there, like an actual double bottom. You can see that this one wicked down to 41.30 and this one wicked down to 41.30. So we literally double bottomed this exactly on here. We're up 103.50. Trailing max drawdowns at 17.44. So I guess my goal of the day would really be to get my trailing max back up to 2,500. I think that would put me back to flat more or less on the account. I think it'd put me around at 50K. What I really want to see is the 3-minute side though rip up. I'm gonna open my office door. It is like 80 something degrees in here probably. It's exactly 80 because my clock in the background will just randomly tell me the temperature. It's 80 degrees in here. I never understood that about this room in the house. The whole rest of the house doesn't do this. This one particular room just gets really hot. I've never actually really liked a thermostat or like central heating. Like I'm always cold in some places that have central heating, and then I'm hot in the other places in the same building, in the same house. Like I'm cold in like 90% of it, and there'll be like one room that's just extra hot. Like, why? And they're like, oh, but the thermostat says it's this temperature. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't feel like that at all. Still pretty high volume. We're here at the top of the hour. Lately, we've been getting the trend reversals closer to like 9 or 9:30, usually starting at around 8:45. I'm gonna go grab a bottle of water real fast. I will be back in just a moment. Make sure the charts are up. I'll be back in just a second. Alrighty, we're back. Up 337.50 today in the sim, and up 103.50 in the evaluation. Eval took a loss of 817 yesterday, but we were up already like 103 as well. So yeah, I agree. We might see sideways action for a little bit. So we got about $600 to get back to break even on the account. And then about $800 to get our trailing max back where it is. So we've only taken one trade today. We can take a look at this week. This is the whole evaluation so far. Our accuracy is 70-30. Not bad. I think it's pretty decent. We did take 2 big losses yesterday, though, which made it kind of challenging, but we're building back from that. 70-30 is pretty decent accuracy. You see our gross P&L is $432.50 on the week. That's before fees. We add in our $177 worth of fees, and that's where we get where we're at. So 432.50 plus 177, 48. So we're down 609.98 in the account at the moment. We do have a $2,500 trailing max drawdown. We have $1,744 of that left, and I think that we can pop up off that. Pulling down to 28.50, new low of the day. Something to note on the TTM. Zoom in or zoom out here a little bit. Something to note on the TTM. You can see right here is that the market is that the TTM is putting in a smaller wave. So what this tells me a lot of the time is that if it's putting in a smaller wave than it did previous, you can see it right here. There's a larger wave followed by a smaller wave. We got a larger wave, but that whiplash into this upward move. So we may get another whiplash into an upward move. but we're a long way off from a lot of that stuff. I think if we do see a trend reversal, it's probably not going to be till 8:45 or later. We may start getting some bounces here, though, off the low. We got a long way to get back up towards VWAP, though, at about 41.50. So we need to move up about $20 in order to see a move above the VWAP, or at least a test of the VWAP. Also, the 200 moving average has gotten itself above the VWAP as well, and so that typically indicates further downward move. Right as I say that, we drop another $5. New low down here at 41.25. Gonna go for a little bounce trade off of 41.25 area. If it'll fill. Filled at 25.75. And I do have this listed for an exit at 27, but I think I'd rather go for like 3 ticks. So an exit at 26.50. So for a 1-to-1 ratio, we're currently, yeah, there's the drop. Probably got to cut this. Okay, came back up within our risk range, but it's outside of our risk now. It is popping. He just keeps popping right back up into our risk reward range. So that's why I held through that pullback. Was really because it was kind of minimal. So we did get that trade. We made, I think 112.50 on that. Actually, we made 150 on that. So not a bad trade. That's in the sim, not the evaluation. I may trade in the evaluation the FOMC, but I might trade it on I might trade it using the micro and not the mini. I hope everyone else is having an awesome day in terms of trading. We've been pretty lucky. I don't think we've taken any losses. Oh, we did take one loss in the sim of 225, but we recovered pretty fast from it. We're up 525 in the sim. I'm trying to make it be for what I make in the sim every day. I want to be able to do that same type of trading in the evaluation. And it's a little bit, there's still some mindset disconnects that I've seen there. But we've made over $6,000 in the last couple of days since like Friday because our buying power was at like 79K. And now we're at 85K. Just the level of consistency that I see in the simulator, I'd like to be able to transfer as much of that into the evaluation as possible. And I've said several times this week, as well as last week, that a lot of that has to do with risk management for me. Being very, very good on my risk management, as well as my accuracy, as well as taking profits at the right time, not taking them too early and not taking them too late, but finding that right balance between taking profits and staying in too long or not staying in long enough. Got another double bottom here. Although this was 23.75, this is more like right at 25. TTM going from 7.1 to 7.0, so nothing to note really there. This TTM is basically flat. 3 minutes, still throwing reds, and approaching a 5200 cross on the 3 minute. You can see right here. These are probably maybe 5-10 minutes out. If this does cross, we'll have new information in about 10 seconds. So like 5 seconds now. We'll see what happens on the next candle. Further on the approach of the 5200 cross on the 3 minute side, that would indicate further downward pressure. And TTM going from 14.6 to 15.9, so movement of 1.3 to 16.9, so another 1.0 move to the downside on the TTM3. We'll zoom out now and pull this back. Making a new low down there, 2175. Major range on the day, going from 77 all the way down to 21. Sure, there was probably a lot of puts on this today, especially off that high. Why 4114? This is an interesting spot that you've pointed out here. And I think this is fascinating about trading, right? Is that everybody sees the angles differently. I actually really love that about trading, because with everyone seeing the angles and the charts just a little bit differently, we have all these different perspectives and all this different wisdom and knowledge that is sort of cast out amongst all of us. And I think it's really, really cool, really interesting about trading, and really just life as a whole. But I'm gonna zoom out, and I think I'm actually gonna zoom out to. I'm gonna take a longer look here. Let's get a 5-day, 5-minute chart. So we were down all the way at 4100. I think the bottom of this was like right here at like 40.99, 4100. So I'm gonna mark 4100 here. We have bounces at 4103. Had resistance around 4113, 4114. I'll throw this at 4115 here. I think I did a little high, but it's fine. Support levels don't need to be exact, I guess. Kind of bouncing off the lower band. Popping back up to 27. 1 minute side, putting in a possible crossover to 1226 and a couple yellows. You can see that decline on the TTM did not go as low as this decline. That can also be useful in determining a trend reversal inbound. Did break below the lower band. Yeah, now we're popping back up through it. I wouldn't feel confident really taking a long unless we get crossovers. Without crossovers, I just don't feel great about it. Just because we could continue to like pull back up to like here or so, to like 30 or 35 or something, and then rip back down again. It's almost like what the rips look like, just in reverse. Take a long off of 25 if we can get an entry. Doesn't look like we're gonna. We are above the 9 moving average, so this does look decent. TTM going from 6.1 to 5.3 to 4.3. We'll join the bid on the sim. And I'm going to pull out to a 3-minute chart. Okay, 3-minute is putting in yellow. That's what we want to see. So 3-minute putting in a yellow does look good for the beginning of a trend reversal. Up in an 8:15. We'll have a new candle here in about 20 seconds on the 3-minute side. We'll see if it stays yellow. Popping up to 28. Check for resistance right at 30. In long at 28.25 on the sim. Going from 15.7 to 15.3 on the TTM 3-minute side. And pulling back down to 27.50. We may have another rip down. This is outside of the risk now at this point. I'm going to cut it. Loss of about 300 something on that. I don't know how much that was. It was over 300 though. Pulling back to 27. 15.7 to 15.4. I should say 15.77. So it's more like 15.8. And then this is 15.3 to 15.3. I think our trend reversal is nearby. There is a 5200 cross though right there. I don't know if y'all see that. It's on the current candle, on the 3-minute side, right there. So it might reject and work its way right back up, but I don't know. Our next candle is going to be at 21 on the 3-minute side. We're in at 26.75. I'm going to look for an exit at 27.50. All right, so ripped up through our sell order. No fill. We'll clear the cash. See if that makes it fill. It should be filled. There we go. All right, up 562.50 in the sim after taking that loss of like $300. I have new information in about 30 seconds. What's that? All right, we back. There's a new candle now, and we're going from 15.77 to 15.0 to 13.8. It's looking a lot better. I'm going to jump to my evaluation side. 9's above 12. And look for an entry off of like 30 or it's like 29 area. Doing the bid at 29.25.
Order filled.
All right, we're in 3 contracts, 3 ticks is what we're going after. We're looking to exit at 41.30. Really close to it.
Order filled.
All right, we did get that trade. We're up 207 exactly in the evaluation today. We're $507 or $506.50 away from getting back to break even in the account. So just about $500 there. We are getting a trend reversal now. 9's above the 12. We've got a cyan switch here. We're coming up, and watch out for resistance off this EMA 35. Don't sleep on the EMA 35, Ben. This is a really, really strong moving average. Its strength is somewhat deceptive, though. It works really well as both support and resistance, which you are seeing demonstrated right now. But when you break up through it, it also works really well as a confirmation when the 35 gets above the 50. So there's a lot of value in this EMA 35. So 9's above the 12. We're approaching a 1226 crossover. We do have a cyan switch. I do think that the pressure is going to build up and work to the upside because the 3-minute is also looking pretty decent. Let's see what's going on with the 5-minute chart. 5-minute also put in a yellow. So this has a lot of indicators pushing towards a trend reversal, indicating trend reversal. Red to yellow on the 5-minute, red to yellow on the 3-minute, cyan switch on the 1-minute. 1 minute is approaching a 1226, very, very close on the 1226 crossover. 9's above 12 on the 1 minute. And on the 5-minute, the 50 never dropped below the 200. It did on the 3-minute though, which is one aspect that is lowering my confidence on this trend reversal is this crossover right here, the green crossing below the red. It may just be a blip though on the radar. Like, I'm more inclined with some of the other stuff that we have indicating long moves. So I'm more inclined to think that this won't necessarily reject. But this is going from 15.0 to 13.6 to 12.3 on the current. So we may get a pullback to about 41.30, 41.30.5 or something like that. And then a bounce off of that. I'll try and get an entry at 31 on the sim. Music hath stopped. There we go. Entered a 31 on the sim with a possible crossover of 1226 on the 3-minute chart. But if you really look at this, it's pretty far away. It's about $10 off. I mean, so it's throwing this really early, in my opinion. But it is throwing that early because of the massive volatility that we've had today. So, hammer candle forming on the 3. Pulled 5 ticks on that, up 750 on the day in the sim. Very nice bounce off the 9 exponential on the 3-minute side. Apologies about the coughs. So we did get that 12.26 cross. There it is. Man, I'm like sneezy and coughing today. What if I'm allergic? Spring and all that. Got a doji up towards the top, so I would not be surprised if we get a pullback to like the 9 EMA, which would be around 30. But we would have to pull back and then bounce in order to continue. Double doji at the top. Be careful of a big drop. Be careful of something like this, like a big drop candle like that. With a double doji up there like that, and now triple doji potential. We're 30 seconds into this candle. Be very careful about a rejection here. It doesn't look like it's going to me, but with the double doji and the history of the day, I don't, I have a lot of reservation. volume is only about 2,000 to 3,000 contracts per minute, so volume is a little light. Tap in that 50 moving average. Gonna zoom out some. The 50 is pretty far away from the 200. 200 is all the way up there at 41.49, and the 50 is way down here at 41.35. So they're off by about $14. So they still have quite a lot of room to go before these cross over again. I seem to get my window how I want it. That'll work. So we are getting above the 50. 9 is above 12, and we got the 12.26 crossover. 9 is getting above the 35. We've basically only thrown green candles though since 8:20, besides this double doji. So for 8 minutes, almost 9 minutes, we've basically just been climbing up. And this has climbed up off the low there, 41.21, all the way up to 35 is where that topped at. So a move of $14 is no joke. I mean, that's enough to pass an entire evaluation off just one move. What's that, 48 ticks? 56 ticks. Appreciate the bless. I'm not taking as many trades as I see available, and that really is like I'm trying to be kind of cautious with this, with the volatility of the day. And I think that we've done a good job at managing risks today as a result. But, you know, it definitely does sometimes feel like you're leaving money on the table, and does attract FOMO, at least for me. So going from 5.4 to 6.1 to 6.5 to 7.0 to 7.0. Okay, so are we going to kind of peter out a little bit right here and then pull back? I honestly think that would help. Like, I think it would be useful to actually consolidate right now between where we're at and like 30 or 31. Really on this EMA 35. This 12.26 crossover on the 3-minute side is actually looking more realistic. 12 is down at 32.50, and the 26 is up at 38. So there's $6 apart. Join the vid right here. Entered long at 33.75, and I'm looking for a move up to 35. So I'm looking for a test of 35. We did get that trade. We're up 9.37.50 on the day in the sim. Pulling back to 32.75. 1 minute side, putting in the cooling candles. Very hesitant about a drop because we are kind of consolidating along the 50 EMA. Looks like that's not the case. I'm going to take a look at the 20-second chart and see where that 5200 cross is sitting on the 20-second chart, because that really a lot of the times indicates further breakout. So you can see the 50 is at 41.31 and the 200 is at 41.36. These could actually combine pretty fast. Over a couple of minutes, these could easily begin to cross. We'll have a new information here in about just 1 second. So pulled down to 35.96 and up to 31.95. So they're now about $4 apart. ES is almost back to flat. Currently, S&P 500, or ES, I should say, is down $2 on the day. So it's basically flat. We're now at 35.81 and 32.12. I think I might wait for this to cross over on the 20-second chart before taking another trade. So far, I haven't really seen a major failure of this crossover on the 20-second chart, and almost every single time it has predicted a larger breakout. We did just see 1,500 contracts there in 20 seconds. Bounce from 32.50 up to 34. We make it a little like a short sell-off here. Okay, here we are. New info: 35.46 on the 200 and 32.31 on the 50. I really like using this 5,200 moving average on the 20-second chart because I get new information every 20 seconds, and I can really determine a lot of the momentum this way. I think that we're going to see some continued just sell-off and consolidation right here. You can see the TTM on the 20-second is pushing to the downside. On the 20-second, there's also a 12.26 9 crossover towards the down. Now, this is not going to be heavily respected on the 20-second chart, but it will be enough to determine some very short-term moves. They're now about $3 apart, the 50 and the 200. So we have 35.04 and 32.47. So now about $2.50 apart. I'm just watching. Just watching right now. Nothing to trade for me in this zone yet. Bouncing there off of the EMA 50, off of 32.50. Nice rip all the way up to the 200 moving average on the 20-second at 34.75. So that was about an 8 ticker right there. Getting some yellow movement on the TTM on the 22nd. I honestly want to see this pull back a little bit more, just as this crossover is very, very close inbound. They're $2 apart now. This might rip before the crossover, so I may end up missing some of this move. My goal on this next move is 5 ticks. So, and we could have got it literally right there off of 34 up to, I guess that would have been 3 ticks. We almost have a cyan switch on the TTM. 9's above 12, but no 1226 yet. There's a red candle on the TTM. 32.75 on the 50 and 34.45 on the 200 moving average. 5 seconds to the next candle. Nine is above 12, approaching a 26 crossover, bouncing off the EMA 35 a little bit, and 50 EMAs at 32.77, and 200 is at 34.35. And these could reject. It's very important to be aware of that. That's why there's no trade in this zone right now for me. Currently dropping below the 50. 3 seconds. New candle. All right, 50's at 32.72 and 200's at 34.15. Because the 200 is on a steady decline, I'm more inclined to think that this trend reversal is inbound. TTM3 looking like 6.0 to 4.7 to 3.1. So this is looking pretty nice, honestly. I'm going to try to get in here at like 32.50 area on the sim. $200 moving average is now at 33.95 and 50 is at 32.75. Going for 5 ticks on this this trade, which it looks like we're gonna get. We did. So up 11.25 in the sim. We're very close to a cyan switch on the 3-minute side. We're gonna look for that at 8:45. Here we are at 8:40. I'm gonna jump onto the 5-minute candle so we can see how this is stacking up. I think a lot of people are anticipating a trend reversal here, which may indicate a bear trap. So let's be very cautious about that. 12.1 to 11.1 on the TTM5. So it's looking decent. Bouncing well off the off of 41.30 area up towards 41.35. I'm gonna jump back into the 1-minute chart on the sim and take a look at that. Okay, so this crossover is getting very close. It is ripping before the crossover happens, like I mentioned that it might do, and we're popping all the way up to 35, bouncing off of 32.75. We ripped all the way up to 35.75, so it was a 12-tick move there. This crossover is super close. There's a cyan switch there. Trying to join the bid off 34. Missed the entry. It tapped it, but it never filled it. I was trying to take advantage of that cyan switch that was happening pre-crossover. We still got probably another 20, maybe 40 seconds till we see crossover action. 33.50 is the 200 moving average, and the 50 is at 33. So they're only about 50 cents apart now. You can see we've got cyan build up here on the TTM. We've got the 9 above the 12, and that's above the 26. On the 20-second chart, getting some pullback down with a little cooling candle. 5 seconds left on this candle, and 45 seconds left on the 1 minute side. Still not out the crossover. Getting a little resistance at 35, but I don't think this is going to continue here. I think that we'll actually rip up. Enter long off 36 on the TTM. Wow. Or I said TTM. I didn't mean that. 36 on the sim is what I meant to say. So pretty high entry point there. No crossover yet. $10 seconds. I considered joining the bid there off 35, and maybe I should have. But I want to see this actual crossover take place, which it is there right now. I want to see it confirm on the next candle. There it is. Tried to join the bid, but nothing happened. Not letting me in. I tried to get in at 35, and just didn't let me do it. There's that crossover though, and this is ripping up to 36. TTM on the 1 minute side is still somewhat cooling off, but I don't see that continuing to stay that way. I'm gonna look for an entry off like 35. 25 maybe even 35. Try to get in at 35.50. I keep just being like one tick off and then not getting the fill, and that's getting a little frustrating. I'm gonna switch over to the 1 minute chart and take a look and see where things are at here. We did get that trade on the sim. We're up 1,200 on the sim. You can see a cyan candle peeking its way there. And 9's above 12. All of it's getting above 50. 35 is even approaching a crossover on 50. It's too bad I missed a lot of those moves. I was trying to take advantage of them and just kept missing it over and over. It was very annoying because there was a lot of trade opportunity there that I just didn't get to take advantage of. Up 1387.50 in the sim. Again, I'm trying to transfer the same type of results that I'm getting in the sim over to the evaluation, and I'm getting close. CTM moving from 1.3 to 1.48 to 1.6. Kind of low momentum there, but green dot. Watch out for rejection at 41.40. Drop this down to 3 ticks again, and man, I missed so much of this move, and this is just really frustrating. I just couldn't seem to get an entry that whole time. I kept being just like a tick down. And here it is running without me. I definitely have. I don't have FOMO. You have FOMO. All right, Tiny. Peace out, yo. I hope you have an awesome day. This is the power of the 5200 crossover on the 20-second chart. This is really, really a pretty accurate trading crossover that I've seen, and you get them more frequently than you do on the 1 minute. So which is kind of nice because you get them not like so frequently to where you overtrade, but you do get them frequently enough to where you can sort of anticipate them. You see, this last one was all the way back here at what 740, and this one's down here at 840. So these are an hour apart. But that's a pretty not that long in order to be able to see this kind of movement. Hitting some resistance at 4140. This was a resistance zone yesterday too. ES is officially back up. Up $4 on the day on the ES. We're up 207. We've only taken 2 trades. We'll take a look at the accuracy this week. We've taken 28 trades this week. We've won 20 of those trades. Unfortunately, the 8 losses that we took were pretty large. And that's that risk management coming into play again. We're up at 71.5% accuracy. 28.5% losing. Yeah, see, our total loss was 1535, and our total profit was 1215. So just need to cover that gap. Gross P&L is 320, negative 320, with 186.48 in fees, which is why it's closer to $500. So 320 plus 186.48. So it's 506.48 in order to get back to break even. Which we could have got through there, actually. Good divergence on the 5200. We may actually get a pop here above 4140. I'm going to take a look at some of the longer time frames. This trade never happened, so we're going to join the bid there. And take a look at the 3-minute side. Did get an entry of 40.25 on the sim. 3-minute getting a cyan switch. And 3-minute. So it's really battling the 50 moving average on the 3-minute side. Which is right here at 4140. That's really where the battle is at. So we may get a little bit of pullback. But I feel more confident that this is going to continue to push up. Going from 4.1 to 6.0 on the TTM3 and pulling back to 41.39. Tried to join the bid right there. Just didn't get it. Tried to join the bid off 38.75, and by the time it executed, it was already at 39 and already passed me. If you notice, the we may be approaching a pullback here. I'm gonna put this just at 1 tick. I think that this, so we may get a really quick pullback followed by a rip up. We are approaching the top of the hour. We're about 2 minutes out through a new 3-minute candle. There's another pop there. I think we have room up to 45. We have a double top right here at 41.25. $50 EMA is continuing to diverge heavily away from the 200 moving average on the 20-second chart. Um, 200 moving average on the 3-minute chart is at 41.43. So I'm gonna revise what I said and say that we have room up to 43. So I'm gonna join the bid on this little pullback here. Same with this. I'm trying to get in at 41.25, but I think that might be a slight bit too much pullback. It is. That topped at 42. This one I'm trying to get out at. I'll put it at 42. Pulling back to 41 right now. This entry is at 41.25 on the sim. There's some sell-off. I'm glad I cut that. I'm not so glad. I wish that I had gotten some of these trades through this area, especially through this area when I was trying to. Just pulling back too much on this side. Yeah, I'm gonna cut this on the sim. Loss of 150 on that. Not bad though. Up 1275 on the day in the sim, and up 207 on the evaluation. Yo, what just happened to my charts? Oh, I see. Pulling down to 41.40. We'll see if we find some support here. I think that we will. So taking a look at the 3-minute chart, though, seeing 6.4 to 7.8 on the TTM3 at 8.54, which is the current. So we should have a new 5-minute candle. 9 is above 12, and we do have 12.26 crossover, but we do not have 9 crossover on 35. But we may get that soon. 5-minute chart looking like a potential crossover of the 12.26 inbound. 5-minute chart actually just got the 9.12 crossover, and TTM's looking great, going from 8.1 to 5.7 to 3.4. I think that I think that we do very much have the potential to go hit 45. But I think 42.50/43 is going to be a line in the sand for a little bit. This did pop nicely though off of that pullback to 40. Rip now up to 43.50. We're gonna watch out for a little bit of potential rejection right there. I don't think it. If it does reject, I don't think it's gonna reject heavily. A lot of the movement up has been very slow. That 17,000 contract dump from earlier today got me skittish the whole day. Unsurprisingly, rejecting at the 200 moving average right there at 43. Yes, we did pop up to 44, but I would not be surprised if this rejects down to about 41.40 and then sort of lingers in that area. I wouldn't mind a red candle on the 3-minute side. I mean, because we've only put in green candles since 8:39. So for 20 minutes almost, we only put in green candles. Yeah, 20 minutes exactly. So I would not mind a red candle. It actually would give me more confidence, not less. Going from 8.1 to 9.4. Bouncing off of 41.75 up to 43. And hitting that rejection there on 3-minute still. Here we are at 9 o'clock. New fresh 3-minute candle. Top of the hour. Oh, my clock is like a minute slow. Finally putting in a red. Hopefully this one actually closes red, and I hope it closes down at 41.40. I really just want to see it close here or possibly at like 39. But really like 40 is kind of the area of support that I actually hope that this closes at, because I want to see this pull back. Like it's too much of a rip for too long that I really would like to see it pull back so I can have a little bit more confidence that the trend will actually continue and that I'm not going to get 17,000 contracts dumped on me, catch a falling knife. Because I'm certain that a lot of people have been accumulating a position all the way since about 41.30 or 41.35 area, that this whole position has been accumulated, and so that means somebody's probably holding on to a lot of contracts. Somebody or somebodies. Popping up to 45, which I did say that we had room up to. $9.4 to 10.7 on the TTM. I'm a little bummed that I missed this whole move, but what's the saying? Scared money don't make money. And I had real fear through this trading area because of a lot of the movement on the day. We're about 2 hours away from the FOMC meeting. And what was the other report happening at that same time? It is the Treasury budget. The forecast is on the Treasury budget. There it is. The forecast is negative. Is that 312 billion? Negative 312 billion is the forecast on the budget. I had no idea. I've been reading this at like 70%. New 3-minute candle posting opening red. That one that was red did not go red, so we didn't get the rejection that we were actually hoping for. Because I was hoping for a rejection and consolidation on 40, and we just didn't get it, and ran up to 45. And so I guess we'll be looking at rejections at 45 area. But we really do need to reject and sell off some. And the reason why I feel like this is I feel like we need consolidation. When it just endlessly rips like this, like I don't know, I get skittish because I feel like somebody's about to drop a ton of contracts all at once. And it happened earlier, it happened right here. This over this 3-minute period was 27,000 contracts, which is crazy volume. So that's why I get skittish in these areas. 9 getting above 50. Let's take a look at the 20-second chart here. Tudor moving average on the 22nd finally moved up for the first time just about 3 candles ago. Maybe like 6 candles ago. So over the last 2 minutes, the 200 moving average moved up for the first time in a while. 50 moving average is all the way at 42, and the 200 is at 34. So this whole section here was a very nice breakout from 35 up to 45. So what is that? $10. Is that 40 ticks? Yeah, it is 40. Math. We've been bouncing steadily off the 26 for a while. 1, 2, 3. So 3 bounces off the 26 area. $200 moving average up at 34, and 50 at 42. If we get a 50-200 cross on the downside, I might short. Right now, though, we're very heavily on the on bullish move. Outside of being below the VWAP. VWAP's up here at 48. Well, 47.50 on the 20-second chart. And pretty much around the same zone on the later time frames. Finally got a 3-minute pullback. Like, that actually feels relieving. 10.8 to 11.5 to 11.9. I call it 12 now. So this is here at 9:06. That was 9:03. So this one was just about a minute ago. I'm going to jump to 1-minute chart. 1 minute still on the cooling on the TTM. 200 moving average dropped below the volume weighted average price. And so that does look good for further bullish momentum. And the 50 EMA is down here on the 1 minute chart. 50 EMA is at 41.39, while 200 is at 41.46. So they're about $7 apart. So this I'd be looking at over the next 15 minutes, possibly 20 minutes, till about 9:30. Make it another rip. We've been ripping at 9:30 almost daily. Gonna switch to the 5 minute chart. Take a look at it. 5 minutes just got a fresh cyan candle on the TTM5. The 9 is above the 12, and that became that way about 10 minutes ago. And we have an approach of 12:26 crossover on the 5 minute chart, bouncing pretty decently off of 41.45. We'll see if we run into resistance here at the VWAP stat 46.75. So it's about, I don't know, 8 ticks away from VWAP. With the cyan switch going from 0.0 or 0.1 to 2.9, that's a pretty hefty movement. 3.0 momentum move on the 5 minute side. 9 is crossing above the 26 on the current candle. We'll have a new candle at 9:10 on the 5 minute side, so we can come back and check on that. I'm gonna jump to 3. Just continuing to put in cyan. We are right here at the VWAP, so this is not a zone that I would want to take along. We are rejecting some off the VWAP. 3 minute 5200 cross is pretty close. 3 minute is at we've got the 50 at 41.41, and we got the 200 at 41.43. So these are off by about $2. Pull back to 44.75 area with the first cooling handle on the TTM3 that we've seen in a while, about a half an hour or so. 1 minute's been on that cooling candle since 8:58, but it's still been grinding up. That means that contracts are beginning to be sold off. You can actually see, if we look at the bulls bears, so if we look at the order flow history, you could see that even though the price has been steadily going up, there's actually been more and more sellers along the way. What this tells me is that a lot of people accumulated contracts through this zone, through this rip up period. So a lot of people are holding on to contracts right now, even though you're starting to see more and more sales by the minute. You can see the sell orders have basically outclassed the buy orders on nearly every candle since 8:58, with the exception of 8:59 and 9 o'clock. Every other, and then I guess at 9:03, every other candle's been pretty much mostly sells. We had a mostly buy on 9:08. So we are actually pulling back. We are rejecting off the 200 moving average, but the 200 moving average is getting below the volume weighted average price. So that does indicate that we likely will see this trend reversal. We will see this breakout. My guess is it's about 20 minutes away to actually getting above the VWAP and then seeing a further rip on the day up until the FOMC meeting. And we don't know what that's going to do, but it also does have treasury budget. And we know that those guys are the worst guys and gals, the worst with money out of anybody that we've ever seen, that I've ever seen on the planet. So it's pretty incredible, actually. Just how terrible it is. But like, it almost seems intentional. But stepping away from those types of conversations, I think that when the treasury budget comes out, we may actually see a downtrend just based off of that. But markets, they often react irrationally. So I obviously have no idea what's going to happen when the FOMC meeting happens. Typically, the market rips, but I could just as easily do the opposite. Just saw a flash of a cyan. We are coming up and hitting that 200 moving average. It's acted as resistance there twice. One here and one here, rejected both times. I'm going to take a look at the 20-second chart because it is very useful in determining trend. Second went red on TTM to yellow and is back on cyan. And we're coming up and we've really hit a lot of resistance here at this zone. Right there, 45.75 has been kind of a line in the sand. Rejecting number 3, third time off of the 200 moving average. And on the 1 minute side, the 50 has climbed up to 40.27, where the 200 is at 44.75. About 1 minute away from new 5-minute candle. TTM3 has put in two cooling candles, and the 50 is at 41.55, and the 200 is at 43.30. So about $1.80 difference between the two. I'm more inclined to think this is going to continue to rip. And that is based off of 912 crossing above the 50, 50 approaching 200 cross as well. We are above the 200 moving average on the 3-minute chart. And pulling back to 44.25. Join the bid right there in the sim. Been a while since I've taken a trade. Try to join the bid at 44.25. Just kind of missed me. I'm going to put my limit at the matter. Just ran on past. This will just buy the market order. See wherever it fills. Tried to get in at like 44.25, but just didn't work out. Checking in on the 5-minute chart since we do have a new 5-minute candle. I think I'm going to cut this trade. Currently, we're flattening it. Alright, so I cut that basically flat. It did actually pop up a little bit. CTM5 going from 5.4 to 7.3 here at 9:15. Pulling the charts back up. We're getting a pretty decent sized pullback down to 42 and a half. I actually think it's a good thing. 5-minute chart, 912, crossed over the 26 and is approaching crossover the 200. Rejected at the VWAP. Was to be expected, in my opinion. I think this 5200 cross will happen. I think, like I said, I think it's going to be about 15 minutes out. Big pop off of the EMA 35 there, from 42 all the way back up to the 200 moving average at 45. So nice 12 tick rip on that pullback. So pulled back and just ripped off that. Is this the moment where we actually break above the 200 moving average? So you look at the 20-second chart on the eval. I know that I could have been trading through this area, but it just didn't. I don't like trading when it's like at the tops like this. I'd rather trade momentum moves. To me, it just makes more sense. Just pulling back to 44. So it is rejecting it again off of that zone. Nine just is like in and out between dipping above and below the 12. And we're very close to a 1226 crossover on the downside. TTM just went red. So we may actually get some pullbacks here to about 4140. And then I think that we'll pull back and consolidate. I don't think that we're going to drop all the way down. I could be wrong. Could just rip, just totally reject this zone. But with this much steam that it built up, with the 200 moving average getting below the VWAP, with the 50 getting this close to the 200 cross, I think that there is more potential for an upward rip than there is for a downward rip. I think that we'll likely even see some bounces off this EMA 35. So there's that 1226 crossover on the down. So all we need to really do is look for a red-yellow move, and then I think that we'll see a very nice rip to the upside. In fact, I'm going to jump over to my evaluation. So 5,200 on the 20-second chart, which is very useful, by the way, on the 5,200. At least I find it very useful. 50 is up at 43.90, while the 200 is down at 38. But the 200 is steadily climbing upward, which could indicate that we are nearing the end of this move. Look for a red to yellow on the 1 minute side. Here we are, 9:21, 22. And TTM going from 0.4 to 0.8 to 1.1. I'm going to try to join the bid off this zone here and look for a bounce off the 35. I think it's a pretty reasonable trade. I've taken this trade several times, and it usually works out. Currently, okay, so that one did work out. We're up 1387.50 on the day in the sim, which was our peak of the day. So we're back at the peak. I think we can hit 2,000 today. What do y'all think? There's a rip right back up to the 26. I've been looking for a rejection off the 200 moving average and a pull back down. There's a red to yellow on the 1 minute side. Big rip up, big push. Pushing up to 45. 50 EMA on the 1 minute chart is at 41, 41, 44, 41, 41, 50, and 200 has moved down to about 44, 70, 44, 75. So these are varied about $3.25 from each other, which is not very far. They're very close to a crossover, very close to a breakout here. VWAP has been steady rocking there at about 41.46. This could be a 1 minute pullback followed by a rip. And looking at 43.75 as an entry. Got long there, 43.75. And looking for another push up to test the 200 moving average there, which is at 44.70, 44.67. And we're trying to get out at 44.50. This did drop and reject off the 200 moving average. And I noticed the TTM also went red. So we are currently sitting flat in this trade on the sim. But it is popping up some. All right, but dig at that. We are at 1,500 now on the day in the sim. And 207 in the evaluation. Heavy resistance at 41.45. You remember, like I said, we need to watch out for all these contracts getting dropped on us. Because there's a pretty decent potentiality that could happen. We're at 925. Let's take a look at the 5 minute chart. 5 minutes still stacking on the upside on TTM. 5 minute also getting a 9 cross above the 35 and a 12 cross above the 50. Or sorry, above the 200. Three minutes still on the sell-off. Pulling up again to 41.45, which it has rejected for the last 25 minutes. It's basically rejected it every single time for 25 minutes straight. We're pretty close to a 5,200 cross on the 3 minute though. 41.41.73 is the 50, and 200 is still at 43.46. I'll have a new candle there in about 40 seconds. Breaking above 45 for a brief moment. I'm gonna have tap 46, which is the upper resistance that we've put. Literally hit our exact. This is why it's important to know how to write in support and resistance, because you can literally, like you saw that this came up and hit the exact bar that we had drawn. Doji at the top there. On 20-second chart, 9 is above 12. We did get a nice crossover with good divergence. 35 worked its way back above the 50, and now it's looking good for the actual breakout zone. There it is. We're going to come up, test the VWAP. VWAP is at 47.50, so we may look for a rejection there. Yeah, we're coming up on 9:30. We only have a few minutes left in the stream. About 2.5 minutes left in the stream or so. And that's just because we only get a 2-hour window on our streaming. Then we need to shut it down and refresh it. We did get a nice volume push there on that one up towards the VWAP, and getting that same volume push in reverse for a rejection off the VWAP. Taking a look at the 1 minute chart, 3 minute chart rather, which is pulling up, rejecting VWAP there at 46.75 area. That was a nice push up. By the way, guys, if y'all chilling, y'all hanging out, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. It really does help the channel grow. It introduces this channel to other people, which is really what we're trying to do here. Trying to make it so that more and more people within our network continue to grow this channel and help some other people understand futures trading. Also, guys, too, if you're looking to earn funding in the futures market right now, Elite Trader Funding is offering a 50% off Easter sale, which we haven't actually talked about any of this stuff today. This is going till Friday, April 14th. You can get 50% off any of the evaluations that they have, with the exception of the fast tracks. The most popular one is a 10K evaluation, but I personally like the 25K and higher, because if you look at the trailing max drawdown, the 10K is 1,000 and the 25K is 1,500. Profit target on 10K is 1,250, while the profit target on the 25K is only 1,500, and it allows you 3 contracts in the mini instead of 1 contract in the mini. So I personally like that. I'm also working on the 50K evaluation here at Apex or Elite Trader Funding, and then I'm working on the 100K static evaluation. I'll be working on those a little bit later this month. I'm also currently working the one that you saw me trade in today on Apex Trader Funding, utilizing Tradeovate with them, which is these accounts down here. I'm on the 50K account at the moment. There's also a link in the description for each of these things, so you guys can actually take advantage of those discounts, as well as support the channel. We just have about a minute left here, so I'm just going to go ahead and shut it down. But we should be very close to that breakout zone. Before I shut it down, we'll pull the charts up here. You can see we are testing the VWAP 1 minute side, getting a fresh cyan candle after pulling back some, and we are approaching a 5,200 cross on the 1 minute as well. So look out for some potential trend reversals here at 9:30. Thank you guys so much for being here. I love and appreciate each and every one of you guys. We'll be back here tomorrow at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 mark time. Up 1,500 in the sim today, up 207 in the evaluation. And we'll see you guys here tomorrow. Hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Stay green. Much love and appreciation, y'all. Peace. Oh, and jump into our Discord community as well, where I'm going to post my reflection and my results. I do that daily, and we'd love to see you guys in there. Thank you guys so much. Peace out, y'all.